I've thought about is let's take the candidates we had in the primary for city council positions 2 and 3. So in 2, we've got Dan Ryan, AJ McCreary, Sandeep Bali, which those were the top 3. Position 3, we've got Vadim, Renee, and Hardesty. In this system, if those had still been the strongest candidates, which I think there's a very strong argument that those would have been, all 6 of those people would be on council. I mean, is that the kind of representation that you guys are searching for? Because personally, that makes me
that's a false
You
comparison.
just can't make that statement.
Why should we do it?
Because you have to make a choice in that system on viability, because you know only one person is going to win. So you have to vote. So in the Vadim, Renee, Joanne, yeah, that one, the numbers are close enough that I think you could potentially make an argument that all 3 of those would like to come in. And frankly, I don't think that's would have been a bad outcome if we thought that the second choices, right? Remember, we got to think about who the second choice was. With Ryan, there would have been second choices in there. People would not have had to flow in because of viability. It's a completely different way for the voters to think about it. I don't have to just choose my least worst outcome. I don't have to worry about, well, if I vote for my second choice or my third choice, I'm going to be wasting that vote. That logic doesn't apply anymore.
Right, but that's not what I'm saying. I mean, I'm saying if those 3 had still run, Sandeep, AJ, and Dan, and yeah, you get to vote for all 3. Let's say someone said Dan, AJ, Sandeep. Yeah, their vote doesn't get wasted, but it's still going to get recycled, and all 3 of those could have been elected.
I don't know enough about the Ryan race to know who I think the second or third preferences would have been for Ryan, for the Ryan voters, if they would have been facing that situation where they could spread out their votes, right? So we're looking at a first past the post where the whole logic for the voter is, I'd like to vote for the one I like best, but I have to worry about wasting my vote. That just doesn't apply to the voter.
Isn't the flip side of that you can end up with some monumentally unqualified candidates getting elected? I mean, we sit here every 2 years and see a lot of candidates who'd like to run for city council, and with all due respect, most of them are vastly underqualified for the job. Why is that going to suddenly change overnight?
I think by having the districts and not having it at large, I think you're going to attract different candidates that would be interested in working in a more collaborative environment, that don't want to run city bureaus, that are interested in, they've worked with groups before, boards and things, and they have that experience of working with a group of 12.
Can I stop you just for a second?
Yeah.
Why would it be a more collaborative environment if you have 3 people in a single district that voters have segmented? It's going to be because
But
those
that's
people
not the
don't
logic
vote.
again, Nigel. The logic, if you're running, take the Alaska example. Sarah Palin made a massive mistake by saying, vote for me. So Alaska had ranked choice voting. Vote for me, don't vote for anyone else. She lost with that strategy. So the winning strategy in a multi-member district in the ranked choice voting is not to run against your opponents, because you might want to be the second light. You might want to be the third light. So collaboration is embedded into the strategic structure.
I just don't believe that, because
But that's what the
It's
case studies,
absolutely true. There's no
that's what the
spoilers.
research, that's exactly right. And that's what the research shows. If you look at all of the different jurisdictions who have ranked choice voting, and as someone who's been involved in campaigns for 25 years, the campaigns are going to look and feel different. You cannot run against your opponent. You have to essentially lift yourself up. So rather than what we have now, which is the only thing you learn about a candidate is how ruthless or scandalous they are, you actually have to appeal to the majority of voters in order to pass the threshold. And so campaigns are going to look and feel different, and they do. I mean, if you look at the research, they do.
Mathematically, you only have to get 25%, so you don't have to appeal to the majority of voters.
You have to appeal to enough voters to get elected.
25%?
Right? You can't isolate.
So that's a fringe right now. That's
Well,
a
it's not
fringe.
even
It is not a fringe.
25%.
22,000 Portlanders is not a fringe.